SAO Alicization Endgame time. Asuna on your left. So what's up guys, Foxen here. Finally, the sad but heated conclusion of Bercoli vs Gabriel. Honestly, I was hesitating to even start this episode since I knew what was coming up. This episode completely destroyed me. So go ahead and smash that like for Papa Bercoli. May Goddess Stacia bless him. Ring the bell and let's get started. But first, a thank you to Bookwalker for sponsoring this anime video. Definitely check them after for all your SAO light novel manga needs. Come on, you have to read SAO Progressive. Anyway, the Underworld endgame begins. You got Agio, Silica, Liz, all of Asuna's best buddies are here to help. Slight surprise to see Pina here. I mean, she is a dragon, although would that be like a chihuahua-sized one by Underworld standards? Although right here, quick update from Reki since he's been tweeting about this. He did mention Pina not being in the light novel, but that got changed for the anime. Either way, everyone is here. This includes the Alpha Online leaders. So glad that these guys brought over their respective armies, really giving you that SAO movie vibe. And did you notice one mystery person from behind? Could this have been Eiji and Yuna? I wonder if they're actually going to get highlighted or just be a background character the whole time. It does feel like Eiji will come back to the main SAO story eventually, so why not start reintroducing him in the SAO anime? Just last episode, you did have Klein get the badass entrance, finally upgraded to full main character status. I did see a few you surprised, but recall Klein was not only a guild leader in SAO, he was always on the front line fighting floor bosses. Right here, you did have Asuna looking in awe. Mention here is that they don't know whether they could convert back, or whether their accounts will be fine if they're killed off. You could let me know, but I don't think the anime has hammered this point down enough. If they die, their characters may be permanently deleted. Better heal up. Thankfully, a huge reason for all this was thanks to Yui's help. Too bad that she's not in the underworld. Then for Asuna getting healed here, aka Asuna healing via incarnation. It actually reminds me of the time that Kirito did something similar to attack Quinella's clown. So what a wonderful moment. Renly and the Human Empire meeting people from our side. Just gotta love how casual Liz is about all of this. It truly is a meeting of two worlds. Too bad the anime didn't highlight this. With both of the sides meeting up, Asuna thought how she could never forget this sight for the rest of her life. Anyway, for total reinforcements, only about 2,000. Unfortunately, not everyone was touched by Liz's speech, or just didn't want to risk losing their items over here in the underworld. It is a shame since the Red Knights still vastly outnumber them. You still have over 10,000 of them left. Something I really loved here was Asuna switching back to her commander role. Gotta teach these guys the way of the sacred arts. I mean, it is natural, recall back to Asuna in the old SAO. Kayaba may have been the guild leader, but the dude was really hands-off when it came to actually running the guild. Then for Asuna up in front, of course the anime acts out her thoughts. Asuna was fully aware of how much these guys were risking, which is why Asuna decided to take up the most risk up in front due to her using a super account. That way they could minimize their losses. Oh, and did you catch it? Did you notice Frenica here? Of course the anime cut this out, as expected. I'll get back to this. Then for Yuichi, Sakuya, and Alicia kicking some tail. I do wish you had seen more of them in the SAO anime. And don't forget about the Sleeping Knights, they're back too. Really, these guys would make Yuki proud. And to top it all off, Asuna is back in full form, one-shotting these red mofos. Switching over to the Ocean Turtle. Right here you have Higa working super hard. This guy deserves a lot more credit. The guy was actually working overtime to get these 2,000 accounts converted over in less than an hour. Anyway, Rinko right here makes an excellent point. Project Alicization has now been made public. Whoops. No point in trying to hide Japan's AI efforts. That's gonna be real fun to explain going forward. It was really interesting to hear Higa's perspective now. He actually prefers the situation to the newly discovered Alice, rather than the enemy taking her and using her for their military efforts. But isn't that what you guys were going for? I mean, if you think about it, if Gabriel and friends had never attacked, wouldn't you and Wrath be singing the same tune? You could be sure Kiku had a different opinion on the matter. Either way, Alice is officially a new human from the Underworld Isekai, which has a lovely ring to it. Sure, Higa mentions how Kirito notices, although for Kirito, Yujiro surely came first. At this point, it's really gone past that. It's not only about keeping Alice safe, but the survival of the entire Underworld, both the Dark Territory side and Human Empire. And oh, what's this? Activity in Kirito's Flocklight. So you really have Rinko hitting the nail on the head. There's been some activity each time one of the Underworld goddesses has appeared. Right here, do notice Asuna's reaction being the biggest. This in comparison to the two other goddesses. Which by the way, right here, props to Higa's voice actor. He did sound extra tired here. Also, talking about Kiku, was this poor guy passed out the entire time? What a long last 24 hours. Alright, so getting into the meat of the discussion, Higa talked about a possible Flocklight backup. And notice, I just like how he was so deep into thought that he was just ignoring Rinko's call over here. As for Rinko's more abstract discussion, object versus subject, reminds me of that one Philosophy 101 course I took at the uni. I was actually expecting the anime to heavily abridge or simplify way too much. To my surprise, they got most of the key points down. They did notably cut out Higa comparing himself to Kayaba, something he's been doing quite often. Anyway, to create a backup, you just need to do that via the you that exists in other people. Specifically the 3 underworld goddesses right now. So freaking finally, getting closer to the solution to restoring Lights Out Kirito. Naturally, things wouldn't be this easy, the brick wall. Sorry, you have to access the main control room. You know, the place surrounded by those nice guys and their toys. I do like here that they're highlighting the danger towards Kirito, something that I don't think has been emphasized enough. If Kirito does die or gets forced to log out, he most likely would never be able to log back into the underworld, which would mean he would be stuck as Potato Kirito in real life too. Probably worse. At the end of the day, they need to fix the Kirito while the whole Ocean Turtle attack is going on, as well as a war of the underworld on the other side. Good luck. Then for Higa here, what a good guy. He sure has some colossal sized balls, right away volunteering for this daunting task. But why? So the anime cut out a little bit of his thoughts on the matter. Before Higa got determined to head out, he thought back to how he previously would have told himself that he couldn't do it. What, did he think he was someone great like Kayaba? Thankfully, he quickly realized that was just an excuse he was giving himself. He really shouldn't be putting himself down. After all, he was Takeru Higa, the genius who crafted the Soul Translator. As for their little plan, robot distraction. If only they had completed their Terminator. You bet Kiko was thinking this. There was even a second robot highlighted. I do recall them mentioning this one before, but unfortunately this one is useless on autopilot. Alright, so getting into action. Higa is all of a sudden turning this into a Mission Impossible operation. I do like Higa expressing his thanks towards Kirito for helping Alice to achieve what she is today. Although this does go even deeper. Wrath itself does owe a lot towards Kirito. I mean, these guys did log him into the underworld for years without telling him. Higa just better hope he's not raising some death flags here. As for Yana here, oh yeah, backup mate shield. Better put that guy up in front. Anyway, contender for Fight of the Year, Bercoli vs Gabriel. Notice at the start you can actually see Gabriel's dragon fading away. You really do have to give props to Papa Bercoli for keeping his own with only a single arm. That fricking Gabriel bastard. Notice at this point, Bercoli had been counting a while. It was supposed to look like Bercoli was just randomly hitting things, that the guy had lost too much blood. But actually, the guy was just trying to put up an act, hoping that Gabriel would not notice. In case you were wondering why Bercoli was counting, the Underworld main visualizer keeps a record of every human movement for 10 minutes exactly. Bercoli was trying to use the time-splitting sword to KO Gabriel 10 minutes in the past. Keep in mind, Bercoli always had this option available, this guaranteed win move. The only issue is that Bercoli saw it as not being something honorable versus an opponent, which is why he never used it, especially versus Eugeo. But then you get to Gabriel, against this unfair, imposing darkness god. None of that mattered anymore, gotta save Alice. If you recall, Quinella Simping Clown actually referred to this other side of Bercoli's blade when he found them. Bercoli at the time was labeled a traitor since he didn't use it, this auto win move. But holy crap, the devil's speaking into your ear. That's some nightmare fuel right there. That was really too much. Bercoli penetrated deep. You're done. But wait, I summon my blue eyes white dragon. Hoshigami coming in. That's right boy, ignore your master. Gotta save your own papa. Down to the last moment too, so dedicated. So you got the trailer shot, Bercoli's final attack, final moment. I do like the image of Finatio right here. God Vecta, you're dead, dead. All of this together was another feature of the Uragiri skill. The power directly targeted the life of the opponent, which meant it was impossible to block or defend against, even with incarnation power. So take that, not today Gabriel. God Vector's life in the system was instantly changed to 0. Sayonara. Winner, the first Integrity Knight, Bercoli. Notice right here, cut out from the anime was actually Bercoli's time-splitting sword crumbling away. Like master, like sword. Unfortunately, Alice was none the wiser to what took place. It was sad, but at the same time also nice to see Alice really seeing Bercoli as her father figure. Thankfully, Bercoli did it. Bercoli saved Alice. The guy gone with a smile on his face. The oldest and strongest Integrity Knight. So holy crap, how amazing was this fight and the whole episode. Honestly, I definitely cried a few times, even while I'm recording this. I mean, I always had each time I read this part in the SAO light novel. My heart is so happy that they did Broccoli justice in the anime. By the way, last time I did wonder which animator was working on this. Just know Kentaro Waki did tweet something about this. There's also Yoshihiro Kano, Suzuki Go, and probably a lot more working on this. So please, I hope they stay on board. I am waiting for one specific Asuna scene, and also a Kirito one too. Anyway, at the very least, Broccoli did have a nice little moment from above. Hoshigami there too. Don't worry Broccoli, Alice will be fine. You raised her well. Fun fact about this dragon name. Originally I first thought it meant Star Dragon, but then the actual Japanese characters stand for Starbite. Oh, but what is this? Quinella! A lovely little bonus. What could the underworld demigod be doing here? So important note about Quinella. This is Quinella from Memories of Her That Remain. But Reki has been tweeting about this. Let me include this here along with the Twitter translation for you guys. It boils down to this actually being Quinella, not some illusion. That perhaps Quinella's image has been stored in the underworld itself. After all, the underworld is made out of memories. Either way, Quinella dropped something weird here. How Broccoli was blessed to have so many loved ones crying for him. Perhaps that line about Quinella not being shown enough love had some truth to it. On the flip side, Broccoli really didn't have any hard feelings toward her. I mean, this memory of her is even smiling. You even have a Quinella and Broccoli moment. I know some people are just gonna look at this and start shipping them in the afterlife. Really quickly, here's an update on the whole scene from Reki. According to the SAO author, there is no love here whatsoever. Quinella was basically his boss figure. Recall that Broccoli did serve Quinella for hundreds of years. Naturally, there was some connection between the two. Whatever relationship they had just was not filled with love. You just gotta love how Broccoli is so laid back. I should also mention how well the ending song fit for this episode, or this scene. It really is a shame that Quinella got killed off way too early. So time to ride into the sunset, underworld cowboy. Then for Finatio, their baby, and the final message. Oh yes, both of them had some sexy time. It was actually 3 months ago that Broccoli Jr. got made. So regarding both of the knights being together, let me actually clear up some of this confusion. Here's some info cut out from the anime. An official marriage in the underworld needs to be approved by an Axian Church bishop. After that, baby making time can begin. Integrity Knights already have a rank of a bishop, so extra procedures aren't needed for them. Putting that aside, there is an actual issue. Recall the life of Integrity Knights being frozen. The same wouldn't be true for their child. Broccoli and Finatio thought that asking Quinella to do the same for their child would be much too cruel. On the other hand, post-Quinella, Broccoli used his time-splitting sword on Finatio. Poor Finatio, and it's sad that Broccoli won't ever get to see his kid. By the way, at the end here, I do like the split in the night sky here, day and red. And for this week, extra long episode, bonus. I just love how this critter guy doesn't give a crap. Yo Captain, you sure got your god ass kicked. It's like the opposite of Higa. For Gabriel cut out here, he was not only shocked to know that he lost, but that he lost to a damn AI. Was it Broccoli's will, the bond of souls, his love? It didn't really matter, it was all BS to Gabriel. Perhaps all of this was just fate. Fate didn't want Gabriel to fight in this borrowed god account. He had to do it properly. Fate wanted him to fight as Gabriel. So Visago converted his account, you don't say. Here you go, Gabriel round 2. I want to think that critter here was like, what the hell? Cursive. I knew the guy was evil. I was about to make a joke about this, but the anime actually showed his login info. Subtilizer GGO. The name should sound familiar. Password. Alright, I'm gonna need your guys' help. I can't read this. My original guess was that his name would have Alicia somewhere in there. And then the password, your soul is so sweet. Then for Gabriel's super intense demon phase. How does this guy look more evil in real life? Alright, so getting into the major cut, really only one. The SAO light novel really had a few pages focusing on a player who logged in to help. It really gave some insight into them. After getting injured, Takeshi felt horrible pain as if he broke a bone in real life. The guy hated it, he wanted to log out. This is where Frenaka came in. Frenaka being the poor girl that the Mustard Noble abused. She used her sacred arts to heal him, although this actually led into some extra motivation from this kind young lady. Takeshi wanted to meet her after all of this was over. He realized this wasn't just some game, it was just as worthy a spot as his own world. So taking a step back, I can see why this was cut out. It was giving yet another reason why the underworld people are important, along from a side character perspective. I do think it would have been nice, but not the biggest loss. Plus, you have seen the guys already helping out Asuna and friends months ago in the SAO movie. The more important part here is really hinting at a strong indication of how future SAO upcoming stuff may be handled. That's all I could say without going into spoilers. Don't worry, I will mention it when it comes up. At the end of the day, this really goes back to, if you want the full SAO experience, you gotta watch the anime, read the light novels, and I would even suggest getting into the new SAO game. For example, SAO Rising Steel expands on characters and backgrounds previously not seen in the SAO anime or books. Hashtag not sponsored. Talking about sponsors, a huge thank you to Bugwalker. I know you're watching this, so I know you love SAO. Why not go even deeper with the SAO light novel or manga or any other series? If you want more Kirito and Asuna, I highly suggest SAO Progressive. Just use my code FOXNER and get $5 off. You can use this awesome discount for any book. Link down below. Anyway, bonus question for hardcore fans. Who is your favorite Integrity Knight and why? Mr. Bercoli, Alice, Sheta. This one should be fun. Go ahead and watch my non-spoiler breakdown for the new SAO opening. A lot of juicy hidden stuff there. And I'll see you guys later.